minimum qualifications with people who could breathe in and out. It was to have people who actually knew how to do the tasks assigned to them reliably so that we could be sure we were going to be able to serve our customers. One of the things that we have also focused on is efficiency and cost effectiveness. And one of the things we've looked at is how can we be more efficient by doing more things together? How can we be more efficient by making more use of information technology? How can we modify the work itself, whether that's through use of information technology or modifying work processes or maybe changing the scope of the job definitions so that we actually change the work itself to make it more efficient and make better use of the staff that we have available to us. You'll see from our fact sheet that we've been active in all of these areas. One of the things, our strategy one is to get the right people in mission critical classifications. So we have a group that focuses on candidate development and on outreach. And one of the things that, the activities that we've completed that I'm very proud of is that we worked with the California Community College districts and did a Bay Area-wide labor projection assessment on what was going to be needed in mission critical classifications in coming years. So we have completed that labor projection. That's been published, and we've also followed up on that by having a labor summit that included workforce development boards and community colleges so we can think how we can build together to build those candidates. We've also created a business arrangement with H2O Opportunities so that we can work with them also in outreach and sharing information. Our strategy two has to do with giving staff the information they need to do quality work. So this workshop today is a product of that committee. And also you may have noticed when you came in the video standard operating procedure that's again one of Baywork's pilot projects and again is about how to work together to give staff the information they need. We have a third committee that works on the modification of the work itself. That group is kicking off a research project, and it may well be that they'll be hosting the third workshop, West Coast workshop, so that we can look at some of those issues. So the hub of what has been a very intense level of activity is our executive committee. They're named in your document, and many of them are here today. So I would appreciate it. Those of you who are on the executive committee, if you could raise your hands, I'd appreciate it. So Jim Smith from East Bay Mud, Jim McPherson from USD, Ray Yep, who's already spoken, Catherine Curtis from SFPUC, and Joanna Desaw from Sunnyvale. And I wanted to point them out to you not only to thank them, but also so that during the breaks or during the lunch, as you have an opportunity, if you'd like to learn more about our activities or possibly do more with us, that you would feel free to seek them out and get more information about what we're doing. One thing I'd like to clarify about this workshop is that even though the format looks familiar, there are some things going on that are unusual that I'd like to call to your attention. One part of the Baywork approach is that we always like to maximize what we get out of every investment in terms of sharing information and using technology. So, as an example, we're videoing this session today. And we're going to try to keep it trained on the audience pretty much. Anyway, this video, at the end of this presentation, at the end, when we get all this done, we're going to take the video, edit the video, and add it to a DVD so that people who have participated in this workshop can have a DVD that includes both the presentations, some of the resource materials that are referenced in the handout that you have, and additionally, this video. And we will also look for other places to post both the report and the video consistent with what I mentioned before, like the H2O Opportunity website, and possibly, if we develop one, a website of our own. Another thing that we'll be doing is building on the information that we have here to move into a guidance document that we can provide to other people on what are some best management practices. So the PowerPoints that we have, we'll be looking to turn them into some text and some kind of a manual which includes some of the examples of what it looks like to do it and what would be helpful guide to somebody if you were in Ohio or God knows where trying to do this. And and part of what we'll be looking for from you today is you're going to be hearing just like the tip of the iceberg of what these different people are doing, just like different snippets. It's like a tasting menu kind of. And then we'll be in these larger sessions that you see for discussion, we'll be looking for guidance from you on how should we expand on those materials when we do the guidance document, which we will ultimately make available to other people, so that ultimately you'll be able to get more than what you're seeing today, and we'll also be able to provide more information to other people. So I didn't want to stress it in the invitations like come here so you can work, because people don't always respond to that so positively. So I'm just telling you now. Now that you're here, I'm really, people always say we want your input, we want you to contribute. I'm not kidding. I really want you to contribute. I really want your input, and it's going to be made really easy for you because you see these easels here, easel. We have note takers, and so just so you can get a real concrete picture and kind of tense up during the presentation, waiting for your chance. We're going to have on one easel, somebody's going to be taking notes on what do I want you to go back to and really clarify for me in that guidance manual. No, you don't have time today, but this is what I would like to see more information on and how I'd like to see it explained. On the other manual, on the other easel, we'll be taking notes on what are some opportunities, additional opportunities for regional collaboration. So examples of things that we have already thought about are, we each spend untold, well maybe we're more bureaucratic than most people, but we spend untold efforts just to get one darn trainer into the room for 3 hours, for God's sake. And I think that different people have different versions of that. And so we may not have that room full. We may not really be utilizing that resource effectively. So we've looked at the possibility of sharing the training that we set up. We've looked at the possibility of talent trading among ourselves. For example, you'll see that some of us who are up on the stage are really, really good at some things that others of us are really not so good at. So we might think about using, in these tight times in terms of finances, maybe we should be using each other as consultants as opposed to just paying the professional services consultants, because some of the best knowledge is right up here and is really right among ourselves. Another thing that we've looked at is video conferencing, which is something we're using at PUC, but I think could have a wider extension, where we have so many shared needs, either in the credentialing requirements of our staff or in technical training or in health and safety. So we have many opportunities to really share among ourselves. So hold those thoughts, and as you'll notice that in your PowerPoints that you have in your binders, that there are places for you to take notes and jot down your questions. So if you don't have time to ask a question of a specific speaker, that's fine, because we've got time set aside in the agenda for you to have those questions, have those comments, and for us to record them. So I will immediately turn it over to Jim McPherson.